Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Life Theories. Diana, what number are we at today? Is this 67?
64, I
66?
think, actually. 64, I believe.
64?
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Well, welcome to episode Life Theories number 64. Today we are talking about the 222 portal transformation change. This year is 2025. If you're into numerology at all, that is a number that are the 2025 is a 9 year, and that is a year of cycles coming to an end, cycles closing out.
Yeah.
And that's what Jay was just talking about, transformation. You can't transform unless you end the old cycle first. So that's what we're talking about today. We've got Diana from Trailblazers of the Universe, as always, Jay from Journey of a Whitefeather, and of course, myself, Sarah from Big Soul Healing. And yeah, we're here to just jam out and chat with you about this big shift that's happening in the universe, these transformations, these changes, these lies and truths being exposed for what they really are, and how that translates into this big transformative energy. So, yeah, how are you guys feeling about all this? How was your 222 portal yesterday? February 22nd, obviously, is the 222 portal. Lots of big revelations and changes happening on that day. So, what came up for you guys? What's been going on?
For me, I mainly just wanted to rest on that day and ground myself. I've been taking a lot more time like away from work related things, or not even just work, like task related. We talk a lot about balancing our energies in the past probably few podcasts. So I've been really working on that, and I'm really finding a lot of benefit from just literally relaxing and just doing things that I enjoy, because I feel like I wasn't for a very long time, and just in that fight or flight mode, and kind of healing from a lot of different things, and making a lot of changes. So I'm giving myself time to integrate all these changes, and yeah, and I think it's still like releasing attachments for me. That's part of ending beginning a new cycle, ending the old cycle. So releasing everything that's attached to that old cycle. That's like your identity, your beliefs, even the way you feel, your actions, of course, habits, um, all that stuff. And shadow work is very important. It's a very important part of that, because if you aren't aware of that aspect of yourself, like what we talked about parts work before, that you're trying to kind of shun away, like that can be a big thing that can hold people back from starting a new cycle. Even just accepting that you were like that person, or that you did that action or something. So for me, it's like integrating all these parts of myself, which we've talked about on a few podcasts as well.
Yeah. That's really big, actually, what you're mentioning there, because when we are starting a new cycle and we're trying to integrate these new habits and new routines, things that don't align with that are still in your belief system, in your psyche, in
Yeah.
the actions that you take day to day, that aren't aligned with those new actions, will really start to rear their head and
Yeah.
pop up for you to deal with, so that you can hold space for those parts of yourself, give those parts of yourself the love and compassion that they need to let them feel safe in these new routines.
Yeah.
And if you don't do that, if you don't hold the space for that type of shadow work and parts work integration, it's going to be a lot harder to successfully integrate those new routines, those new transformational structures that you're building for your life, because there's parts of you that are in opposition to that.
You'll
And that,
self-sabotage. Yeah.
yeah, you'll start to self sabotage. You'll start to like fall victim to like all of those parts of yourself that are just screaming for fucking attention, because they're not getting integrated or witnessed in a way that they need to be for your nervous system to feel safe with the changes that you're trying to make. So that's a really big one, like to really give yourself the time to do the shadow work and look at those things when you're in a transformational period is really important. So yeah, good on you for going there.
How about you, Jay? What's
Well, yeah. How's everyone going? Yeah.
I knew Jay had something to say on this.
Oh, yeah, yeah, bloody oath. Yeah. So,
I
yeah, I'll just
mean,
let everyone
I
else.
do. We'll let it go.
Yeah. Well, other than doing Steve Irwin impersonations and using the comment of rather be dancing with a grizzly. That's what they that's my new job. But anyway, on that, yeah, transformations, and I've revelations of things coming forth to you. Basically, what happened was, I guess, opportunities came my way when I had to. When I was looking for answers on, not even answers, you're moving through your path and moving through your journey and moving through what you want to do. And what I've basically done is connected with particular individuals to give me the answers that I've always wanted, how to go to the next level with regards to what I'm doing as a person, spiritually, business, whatever it may be. And it gave me these opportunities, but also it's closing off old cycles, in a lot of ways. So, I always say, look, bloody humanity, right? But I'm trusting in the flow, pretty much trusting in the flow of what's happening and being aware of what's happening within within myself fully to see the opportunities that come. For example, so I basically done Chat with Jay, do the interviews, but then I decided December, I decided, hang on a minute, I've never had a voice, right? Everyone goes, oh, yeah, you speak all the time. But when you look at the voice, is it your true voice? Not even your true voice. Are you holding back? Or are you not speaking from the heart? Or it's not actually speaking up? That's even better. Not even speaking up. So I basically went and did the second part to Chat with Jay. I've done opinions and views. And then suddenly my thing with regards to being like Robin Hood, right? I've always had this thing with Robin Hood of going, hang on, take from the rich, give to the poor, because that's what the rich do, right? So it's not sort of like this little inner fight that you have, So anyway, so I decided to call it the Robin Hood effect, which is basically my opinions and views on what's happening in the world and what's happening personally, so I can give information out. It's all fact-checked and all those kind of things, But I do give what we call the quiet uppercut. That's what my mate says. He goes, you give quiet uppercuts. But that is brought in, once I accepted that, so something comes into your life, you go, okay, this is weird or whatever it may be. You accept it and go with it. It starts to flow, and all you got to do is make a start. The hardest thing is to take that first step. So now the Robin Hood effect is, well, can't really use it as a business name. Hint, hint, bloody Disney, or whoever is bloody owning it, probably bloody Disney. But because I'm building my own personal value up, as a brand, if you want to put it that way, we'll just use brand. That's because it's like McDonald's. I'm branding myself in some way. I'll be using the Robin Hood effect as a quote that I say, which gives a credibility. So we move it up from there, and also from that, basically telling people what the Robin Hood effect's about, which is some of my core values. You got some of my core values or core things that you want to get out. Create awareness, get accountable, have a voice, make sure you got choice, remember you've got choice, and create and have freedom. That's 5 things I've always wanted in life. So it's funny that this cycle comes through. Instead of trying to force it and run the journey that you're supposed to, because I get too excited, I always go to the end before I walk the journey. I've done it all my life. But now when you walk the journey, these things will come to you. And if you don't walk the journey, you won't understand why they're coming, and it won't make sense why you're actually doing it. So it makes more sense when you do something, say the Robin Hood effect. I'm thinking, okay, I had this idea back in, I don't know, probably September, and go, okay, this sounds good, yeah. But then I let it simmer in the pot, and suddenly this has come out and it's working perfectly. So I've actually instead of getting too excited or whatever, or jumping to the finish, I actually walked the journey, which has been great.
Yeah, it's good to embody the things that you're learning, you're integrating, to really like show up and embody those in your daily life. The things that you teach is really important, especially as motivational speakers, coaches, healers, to embody the practices and the information that you teach is like some of the most important work that we can do to show up in an authentic way. So
Yeah.
that's That's really good.
Let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. One thing I've learned, right? If you've got awareness, right? You've got awareness and you understand flow and stepping back, you look at something that comes at you and you'll have the opportunity to say, right, this could be something that I needed to be here at this time. And you'll see the opportunity for what it is. Because if you're not aware and haven't got your eyes open, or where you are spiritually, or however you want to put it, you won't understand that opportunity is coming at you, or you won't understand that this idea was something that was manifesting for years. So once you do that work, you'll actually step back and tame your ego, if you want to put it that way. Step away from society if you want to go that way as well. But also just be you and understand that that's what you want to do. You're halfway there.
Yeah. No, I totally I resonate with that, because I've been with the cycles that I've been going through, it's like everything that has come up in the last 5 weeks, I've been leading up to this moment without realizing it. Lots of different practices and things that I was integrating at the end of last year. If I didn't learn that when I did, I wouldn't be able to do the things that I'm doing now. I wouldn't be able to uncover the truths and the new routines and practices and beliefs and things that I'm incorporating and integrating now, because it all works together and it's all absolutely necessary for the journey. So rather than judging like where we were at, to be grateful for what happened in our past, to be grateful for every little step of the way that we've experienced like along our journey, is really important, because it all culminates to where we are right now, and it's all necessary for where we are right now. Even if it feels awful in the moment, even if you're like, what was the fucking point of that? What was the what was the purpose there? Why did I have to go through this? If you start leaning into the victimhood of the things that happened, rather than being grateful for the lessons that were learned and the process that you got to experience in that to get you to where you are right now, is really important. So yeah, I totally agree with that. Like I've been over the last 5 weeks, this is my last week. I'm starting my last week on my microdosing journey. I was starting to work with a plant medicine consultant, and she created this really amazing mushroom protocol for me. And I was doing just like a 0.15 of mushrooms with ginseng and lion's mane and like all different kinds of other herbs and stuff. And the intention and purpose of that journey and that process and protocol was to help to reform the neural pathways in my brain to help me build structure and routine and become more disciplined in my life. But what I didn't realize, that starting that was last week, like almost at the end of my journey of this, that I was on this process to help uncover and heal some ancestral trauma that was also connected to structure and discipline. And if I didn't learn at the end of last year in my parts work coaching container with Andrea Tessier, if I didn't learn about how your ancestral trauma and like the trauma that your ancestors carry can be transferred over into what's called like a legacy burden, I wouldn't have been able to really uncover the depths of why I was having so much struggle in my life in adopting really like disciplined and structured routines in my life. I was always very flighty. Like I would do things at whatever random time of the day felt right for me. It was just moving with my intuition. There was no like structure in my life at all. It just, everything happened when it felt right. And there was no like routine that I was following. And I really needed to change that. And I really needed to like insert some of the masculine like forces and energy into my routines to balance out my feminine energy. And if I didn't go through the process those years back of like learning about trauma integration and ancestral healing, and then going through the parts work stuff and learning about legacy burdens and how ancestral traumas really transfer over and get passed down to you, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And now, at the end of my mushroom journey, knowing what I know, uncovering what I uncovered, doing the shadow work around the discipline that I was trying to create for myself, I wouldn't be at this place now where I've created myself like a good bedtime routine. I've created myself a good morning wake up routine. I'm integrating arts and crafts and like creativity into almost every day of my life. I'm reading more. I'm really putting in like time and effort and energy into building my business and creating like a solid foundation with my business rather than just putting myself out there and like trying to get clients. I'm creating a structure around how that is going to look and what amount of time I'm putting into nurturing my business. And I've created these really beautiful routines for myself now that are very disciplined, but still give room for flow, still give room for those intuitive hits and that creativity to find me. And I'm actually, rather than feeling resistance around all of those things and like stopping halfway through the week and like being really good for 3 days and then falling off and like going back to old routines, I'm actually able to stick with it now. And if it weren't for all of the stuff that came before this microdose journey that I was on, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I'm super grateful for like the transfer of like and the new beginnings and the like the transition that I've experienced in all of this. So the new beginnings that I'm experiencing are like letting go of all those old patterns, letting go of the lack of discipline, letting go of the lack of structure, and like really being able to now hold within myself the joy in creating routine instead of having that part of me push back against it and being like, this is stupid, like we don't have to do this, nobody's paying attention, and like actually finding joy in stepping forward in these new routines, like with this transformational period. And I find it awesome that 222 just happened, the year 9 that I explained in the beginning, of like things are ending, like all those old cycles around lack of discipline and lack of structure are ending, and 222 just happened, the new beginnings, and I'm stepping really into accepting myself energy, all the stuff that was weighed down behind the shadows around like not stepping into discipline and things like that. So it's been a lot. The beginning of the years this year has been a lot. There's Willer. Hey Willer, thanks for breakfast.
That's awesome. I think the key word that really resonated with me, what you said, is nurturing. It's like you have to nurture that new habit, new routine, new energy, instead of giving all that energy to the old. And that goes into shame too. So for me, sometimes I'll find what comes up is like shame of how I was before or something, and sometimes that will even like have a big like emotional dent in you where it makes you almost like paralyzed, like you don't it almost can make you not want to take action or something, I've been in a little bit of a weird energy this week myself, and for me, I've been trying to also do more content, but have it more like a little more structured. I'm also trying to add a little more structure to what I'm doing as well, and think about like the long-term goal of like what I'm doing, and being more like selective on the kind of content I'm putting out and even consuming and everything. But it's like you just have to keep giving energy to that new, and just like the more you're making progress on the new too, the more that inner voice gets louder. It gets louder. It's like trying to pull you back, and it's trying to put you back to the normal, which is your old self, which like pretty much is what your subconscious does, right? It wants to keep you safe. So it's like, oh, this is too scary. This is too much. This is too new. This is like, oh, my nervous system is all like up, like stimulated and overstimulated, I should say. And then those old beliefs come up, and I've been battling that recently. But I just think it means that you're evolving. I made a video not too long ago called "New Levels, New Devils," and that's kind of what I actually reposted on my TikTok. You might have seen it. That was from like a year ago, but it came up, and I was like, man, that message was on point. Those messages are always from a year ago, or like my message for me now. It's like you're elevating to a new level, new challenges, and now also more opposition as well. And this goes to outside sources too. Like there's gonna be more people trying to bring you down, trying to attack you. It's like it's a new you, and you just have to
Mhm.
remember your why and stay strong. And but it's okay to take a break or take a rest when you need to. And that's what I'm learning. Instead of giving up and crashing and being like, oh, this is done, or I don't want to do this anymore. Just, all right, let me like focus on something I actually enjoy doing, or resting, or I'm not having enough fun with what I'm doing. I'm turning this into a task. Like this is, if it's supposed to be my passion, my purpose, like, if I'm not feeling passionate about doing it, what the hell am I doing? Like, why am I even doing it? I mean, obviously to help people, but it should go into your passion. So I'm trying to find, for me, it's like finding ways to make even content creation more fun. Editing, I hate editing, and I'm trying to find ways to make that like more fun,
Definitely.
or just, or like I make more videos in my car now because I'm honestly more comfortable in my car. I used to, that was kind of like my safe space. So my energy is better like when I'm in my car and stuff, and I'm on the go all the time anyway. So like
Yeah.
those are just some examples of things I'm trying to do to make something more fun. It's also making so that your nervous system isn't all like, or it's stabilizing your nervous system where you're grounding it, you're making more fun so it's not so new. Like, how can I just tweak it a little bit to make it more enjoyable, or something like a challenge to motivate me, something to keep you going? Because otherwise, it's easy to go backwards and not backwards, just give up or just feel defeated when you're not getting results. Like when you put a piece of content out, it gets like you put all your heart and soul into, you thought it was really good, gets like barely any views or no interactions. I hate that shit happens to me all the time. That's just a test, man. It's like it's always a video that like I really thought was gonna do well, and then the ones I don't give a shit about because I've released resistance, I would just have more fun with, even more raw with. Those ones do better. So what does that say? You know, just having more fun with what you're doing.